I've done this 11 years now, and I think every time I go, well, that's the city game. I think that's how I start every press conference. And if you're a fan of basketball, even casually, you can't really ask for anything better than what you saw, especially in the second half tonight. Drama, excitement, and two teams that really battled it out and were both very gritty. And we were fortunate enough to come away with the victory, a 56-55 victory over, I think, a team that is going to win games and is going to be a good team. I think that Pitt is a very well coached team, and they execute very well, and they made us play differently than how we wanted to play. Their press affected us in the first half in particular. We got a ton of shots. They just didn't fall, and we were being way too passive offensively. We were settling for threes, and they weren't going down. And so we really challenged them to post hard and post strong deep in the post in the second half, and to drive the ball. And we had a lot more opportunities that way, and we found a way to break the press more consistently and quicker, and that really helped us lead us to victory. And inserting Keandra Brown into the game was just a really, really good thing for us to do. She is a gritty, really tough kid that does all the little things to help you win basketball games. I think she had 3 charges, and her box outs and her just aggressiveness and will to win is something that is contagious, and just really happy with the win today.
Keandra and Meg talked about the play where she found Meg in the corner for the 3 that pretty much gave the lead and changed everything around. Keandra said she saw one of her best shooters open, she got her the ball. Meg talked about how when you have a selfish post like that that's willing to get the ball out, it seems like there's a lot of cohesion there with this group of everybody understanding what the role is. How big is that in games like this?
I would say that they do have a really good understanding of their role. But everyone's role can change by game. Keandra Brown, did she play against Niagara? I don't even know if she got in the game against Niagara. But against Howard, I wasn't pleased with how our posts were necessarily playing. She went in, she didn't score a bucket. But she boxed out and executed it defensively exactly what we wanted. And she was very physical, and she set the tone for the remainder of the Howard game, much like today. Her role increases, her minutes increase when you execute the game plan like she did, and then you compete at a really high level. So execution and competitiveness can allow you to extend your role, because we have other kids on the team that probably aren't happy with their role right now, and that's understandable, and I'm glad they're not happy with it. But my simple answer to that, and to any young person out there, is if you want to change your role, be more competitive. Be more competitive and execute the game plan the way the coaches want you to execute it.
Torrey Verdi being in town, coming from UMass, you guys have met quite a bit over the years, but now he's here in Pittsburgh. For you personally, to face a coach that you faced so much in conference play previously, to have him in town, what is that like for you? But also, what is it like to have him with this program at Pitt, and what does it say for women's basketball in this region?
Well, I've been here. I mean, I think I've been through 5 different coaches over there, and I'm still here. I do believe that Torrey is going to be successful there. I think he's a very good X's and O's coach. He's a disciplinarian, and I think he's going to win, and I think he's going to have success. I think it's a lot to ask when he was hired late in the hiring cycle, but you give him time, he's going to have success there. And it's only good for women's basketball when you have girls basketball in the region, when you have more than Duquesne being a healthy women's basketball program. And so I hope that they have success going forward, and I certainly hope that the other school, Robert Morris, would have success also. We'd love to play them. We'd love to have a county game.
Obligatory, Meg, is a tough cookie question, but here it comes. She drives, falls on that elbow, goes out for about a grand total of 2 minutes, comes back in and closes it out. And it looks like she never even left with any issues. What can you say to her, and just how she's able to keep coming back when she takes so many licks the way she does?
It's the first time where I've seen Meg, other than when she got her teeth knocked out last year, where she was really hurt, like showed pain. She's as tough as you will find of any kid. She's a McConnell. her arm was hanging there, and I was like, please don't let that be a shoulder, and it's not. I think Meg's going to be fine, but she took a good hit. Well, her arm hit the floor in an awkward way, but I do believe that she's going to be okay. But we're going to get her checked out.
You talked about halftime making the adjustment. How were the media timeouts handled, understanding that the ratio of 3s to 2s just from their zone and their pressing actions were just making things a little bit tough for you all?
Well, in the third quarter, we were able to be more aggressive. And so at halftime, it was 15-2 in terms of free throws. And it had nothing to do with the referees. That had everything to do with our passivity and not attacking. So we attacked a little bit more in the third quarter. We got some touches. We got to 4 fouls. And then we run something that we call LaSalle, because we stole it from LaSalle. And what we do is we put Amaya on the wing, and we have her attack and almost like back you down like Mark Jackson used to do with the Knicks years ago. And once you put that second hand on, that's an automatic foul. And the referees have to call that by not only rule, but if they want to advance to the NCAA tournament, they have to call multiple touches. And so we're going to utilize that rule and use it to our advantage. And that's what we did there, and that's why Amaya got to the free throw line. We also were able to get the ball to the middle of the floor when we didn't do that. And when we get the ball to the middle of the floor, which we didn't do nearly enough all night, but in the third quarter in particular, we were able to get the ball to the middle of the floor, right around the nail, and have some success there. I'm not happy with our execution offensively. I think we stopped at 30 feet. We would beat the press and stop at 30 feet instead of trying to get to the nail. And the nail is the little nail at the free throw line, if you don't know. And we needed to get deeper, and we didn't do that. So those are things that we have to get much better at. We're far from a finished product, but I'm happy to be 3-1.
What did you like defensively? Obviously, they made a couple baskets late, but for a while there, it was just free throws for them. You guys were just opportunistic on both sides of the floor. Just how much did you appreciate just how opportunistic you were when it mattered most?
I think our coaching staff did an incredible job of preparing for this and preparing our players for this game. We knew everything that they were going to do, and we were prepared from a coaching staff perspective. I also believe that our kids executed that, and that energy came from Keandra Brown. Keandra Brown has everyone else help rise up, and when you have her and you have you have her and you have Megan there, it makes things difficult for people. I thought Tess Myers, she didn't hit a couple. She didn't hit 5 or 6 early. I mean, she really struggled to shoot it early, but she rebounded the ball, and she had one bad defensive assignment that I can think of. Overall, though, she played defense pretty darn well for someone who's always been known as a shooter. She's become much more of a complete player. But defensively, we gave up 13, 14, 17, and 11. And if you're giving up 13, 14, and 11, so 3 of the quarters you got to be happy with if you're giving up that kind of point total. And so very happy with that. We gave up way too many offensive rebounds, but I believe they're 2 pogo stick kids inside who are just incredible fast twitch athlete basketball players. I think that's actually underneath their rebounding average. So that says a lot to what we did, and it also says a lot about how good those 2 players are from Pitt.
Coach, you guys were down, I think it was 37-30 in the third quarter when Journey got that bucket and the foul, and then from that point on, you went on a 24-7 run. How did your team feed off that energy, and what changed on the court in the second half?
We haven't seen the best of Journey Hiaku. Journey is actually, at that time out, it was, hey, we want to get Journey out because she's close to her minutes. Because right now she's still fighting an injury and she's not 100%. And I was like, she really needs to stay in. And fortunately, we were able to keep her in. And you have not seen the best of what Journey is going to give us. There's a reason why she was the Rookie of the Year in the league where she was last year. And Journey gives us something that we just don't have. She can turn the corner against any player. She's a fast twitch, incredibly explosive guard. And once she gets her bearings down and she gets comfortable playing with Meg and Tess and Nay and the other players on our team, we're going to see Journey become a difference maker like she was in that third quarter.
Dan, from the officiating side of things, that late technical, they explained about the faking foul calls. They said there had been a warning about it before. I wanted to get your thoughts on that and how much that's become, a thing that's been emphasized. And the other thing was, what was your view of that travel call toward the end inside?
So there's a new rule in women's basketball. I'm not sure what it is in men's basketball. They're trying to alleviate the faking that we see happen. And so Nay on the corner three fell, and I thought that the referee made the appropriate call. She made the right call because Nay did fall, and she flopped. And so what happens is the referee does this, and at the next dead ball, they issue a warning. The next time it happens, it becomes a technical foul. And that's, the second time, if it happens and it's a different player, it's still a technical foul. Not every player gets a warning. Just it's a team warning, and then it's a team technical foul. There is no individual foul. On the second one, which is like 2 plays later, Nay lands, and I've watched it, Nay lands and her right knee buckles in and she literally trips herself. But because it happened within 2 possessions, I understand why the referee called it. I don't think it was the appropriate call, but I understand why she called it. And frankly, all the referees that I've talked to, including the supervisory officials, there's a lot of concern about this because it's a very judgmental call and it's a very difficult call to make. And my problem with it is we're calling a technical foul this late in the game on something that's, first of all, a judgment call, and 2, did it really happen? But I understand why she called it. I really do. I mean, it looked like she flopped again, but when you watched on replay, she literally trips herself. The last play where the Pitt player traveled, it looked incredibly awkward. I haven't seen it. Like, I don't know if it was a travel or not. You didn't think it was a travel? No? It was a travel. It was a travel as far as I'm concerned, and I'm really glad it was called that way. But things even out there. We tried to put Amaya in LaSalle in the 4th quarter, and I didn't feel like we got the call, and then we went down the other end, and that same collapsed armbar, there was a call. Those things happen. The referees even out. That's a really good refereeing crew right there. I mean, that's a really good crew, actually. It's a heightened game. Incredible crowd today. Incredible crowd. Maybe the best crowd since I've been here in 17 years. Great crowd. The first half, we didn't give them a lot of things to cheer about on either end, but I think we made a lot of fans of girls basketball in this region with the way that second half was played.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you all for supporting women's basketball. Play Renegade.